She was 47 and invisible. He was 33 and bleeding out. One desperate lie, "He's my son," saved his life and changed hers forever. But the billionaire with a target on his back and the woman society forgot about were about to discover that sometimes love finds you in the most dangerous, impossible, beautiful moments. Juliana had been waiting in the ER for 3 hours when the bleeding man stumbled through the doors. She looked up from her phone. Insurance forms for her mother's surgery. Numbers she couldn't afford. A future that looked increasingly bleak, and watched him collapse against the reception desk. "Please," he gasped. Blood soaked through his white dress shirt. "Expensive shirt," she noted distantly. "I need help." The receptionist's eyes widened. "Sir, are you?" "They're coming." He looked behind him, terror raw on his face. "Please, I can't." 2 men in dark suits entered the ER. Scanning, hunting, and Juliana made a choice she'd spend the rest of her life grateful for. She stood, crossed to the bleeding stranger, put her arm around him like she'd done it 1,000 times. "Morris, oh my God, what happened?" Her voice was mother-pitched, concerned, familiar. "I've been waiting for you. You said you'd be careful." The bleeding man, Morris, apparently, stared at her with dark eyes that held confusion and desperate hope. "I'm his mother," Juliana told the receptionist firmly. "Please, he needs help now. Hospital policy. Family gets priority." The receptionist nodded, already calling for a gurney. The men in suits stopped, watched. One spoke into a phone. "Ma'am, do you know what happened?" A nurse asked as they wheeled Morris toward triage. "Car accident," Juliana improvised, following because if she was his mother, she'd follow. "Please just help him." Morris's hand found hers as they pushed him into a trauma bay. Squeezed. His eyes said thank you and please don't leave and I'll explain everything. She squeezed back, and didn't let go. Across the city earlier that day, Morris Kane had made a mistake. He'd trusted the wrong person. Again. "The vote is tomorrow," his CFO, former CFO now, had said. "The board's going to side with Whitmore. You'll lose the company. Unless what? Unless you sign this. Documents. Transfer of assets. Temporarily. Just until the vote. Protection against Whitmore's takeover attempt." Morris should have read it carefully. Should have questioned why Victor seemed nervous. Should have trusted his instincts. Instead, he'd signed. And realized too late that Victor was working for Whitmore. That the documents weren't protection, they were theft. That his entire company, his fortune, his life's work had just been stolen with his own signature. "You'll want to disappear," Victor had said almost kindly. "Whitmore doesn't leave loose ends. And you, Morris, you're a very loose end." Morris had run. Made it 3 blocks before they caught up. Before the knife slid between his ribs. Not deep enough to kill immediately, just enough to slow him down. He'd stumbled into the first public place he found. Emergency room. Fluorescent lights and antiseptic smell, and a woman with kind eyes who'd looked at him like he was human instead of target. Who'd lied to save him. Who'd called him son. And now, lying on a hospital gurney while nurses cut away his shirt and assessed the damage, Morris Kane. Billionaire, CEO, man who'd spent 33 years trusting no one. Looked at the stranger who'd risked herself for him, and thought her. Not like a son thinks of his mother. Like a man thinks of the woman who just became his reason to survive. Juliana sat in the waiting area while they treated Morris, mind racing. What had she done? Claimed a stranger as family? Gotten involved in something that had men in suits hunting him? She should leave. Go back to her mother's insurance forms and her invisible life and let this bleeding stranger sort out his own problems. But she didn't move. Because something about the way he'd looked at her, desperate, yes, but also seeing, had cracked something open in her chest. Something she'd thought was sealed permanently when her husband left 5 years ago for a 28-year-old paralegal. "You're getting old, Jules. I need someone who can keep up." She was 47. Worked in medical billing. Had a teenage daughter in college and a mother with dementia. She was invisible to men, irrelevant to society, past whatever arbitrary expiration date the world assigned to women. And yet, that stranger had held her hand like she was salvation. Ma'am. A doctor appeared. Your son is stable. The wound wasn't as deep as we feared. But he's asking for you. Says he needs to explain something. Juliana followed the doctor to a private room where Morris lay, bandaged. For in his arm, those dark eyes tracking her movement. Thank you, he said when they were alone. You saved my life. I don't know what I saved you from. People who want me dead. Simple. Direct. My name is Morris Kane. I owned Kane Industries. Technology. Billion-dollar company. And my CFO just stole everything, including my safety. That doesn't explain the men in suits. Whitmore's men. The rival who orchestrated this. They'll finish what they started if they find me. His hand reached for hers. I need your help, please, just until I can figure this out. Until I can, he stopped. I'll pay you anything. Just don't leave me here alone. They'll come back. Juliana should have said no. Should have walked away from this dangerous, impossible situation. Instead, she heard herself say, "What do you need me to do?" And Morris smiled. Small, pained, grateful. Keep being my mother, he said. Just for a little while. Until it's safe. Juliana looked at this man. 14 years younger, a billionaire, bleeding and broken and looking at her like she was hope. And made the second most important decision of her life. Okay, she whispered. But just until you're safe. Neither of them knew that just until would become forever. That pretending would become real. That saving him would save her too. A desperate lie. A bleeding billionaire. Assassins still hunting. Juliana has agreed to pretend to be Morris's mother. But neither of them is prepared for what happens when proximity reveals that what they're pretending to be isn't what they're feeling at all. Have you ever made a split-second decision that changed your life? One moment of instinct that became everything? Share your story below. The hospital discharged Morris 12 hours later with pain medication, wound care instructions, and stern warnings about infection. Your mother will need to change the dressing twice daily, the nurse said, handing Juliana supplies. Keep the wound clean. Watch for fever. Any signs of reopening, come back immediately. Juliana nodded, very aware of Morris's eyes on her. Very aware this charade was continuing. In the parking lot, he leaned against her 10-year-old Honda. Expensive suit ruined, face pale. I can't go home, he said quietly. They'll be watching my penthouse. My office. Anywhere I'm known. You need somewhere safe to recover. Yes. He met her eyes. Your place. If that's okay. Just for a few days. I'll pay you. Compensate you for. Stop. Juliana unlocked the car. Just get in. We'll figure it out. Her apartment was modest. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Furniture that had seen better decades. She watched Morris take it in. This man who probably lived in marble and glass. Now standing in her beige carpeted living room that smelled faintly of the vanilla candles she burned to mask apartment smell. Guest rooms there, she said, pointing. Bathrooms shared. I work from home tomorrow so I can help with the wound care. You should rest. Juliana. Her name in his voice stopped her. Why did you help me? She turned. You were bleeding. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. She crossed her arms. You were hurt. I could help. That's all. You claimed me as your son. Put yourself at risk. You don't even know me. I know you were terrified. I know someone wants you dead. I know. She stopped. I know what it feels like to need help and have no one offer it. Something shifted in his expression. Softened. Who didn't help you? Everyone. The word slipped out. When my husband left. When I lost my job. When my mother got sick. Everyone had reasons why they couldn't. She turned away. I didn't want to be that person. For you. Morris was quiet. Then, I'm glad you weren't. That night, Juliana couldn't sleep. She lay in bed listening to Morris move around the guest room. Probably uncomfortable. Probably in pain. At 2 a.m., she gave up. Went to the kitchen for water. He was already there. Shirtless, the bandage stark white against his skin. He turned, and she saw him really see her. Not as rescuer or fake mother. As woman. Can't sleep either? He asked. Adrenaline, probably. She poured water with shaking hands. You should be resting. Hard to rest when someone's trying to kill you. He smiled without humor. And when you're sleeping in a stranger's guest room after she saved your life by pretending to be your mother. Is it weird? The mother thing. Extremely weird. He stepped closer. Because you don't look old enough to be my mother. And I definitely don't feel filial toward you. The air changed. Charged. Morris. I'm 14 years younger than you, he said quietly. I know. I saw your driver's license when you showed it at the hospital. 47. I'm 33. And he stopped. Started again. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. Not as my savior. Not as mother figure. As you. You're in shock. Pain medication. You don't. I know exactly what I mean. His hand came up, hesitated, then touched her cheek. You're beautiful, strong, real. And I can't pretend I don't see it just because some lie made you my mother for hospital purposes. Juliana's breath caught. You're too young for me. Says who? Society. Logic. Everyone. I don't care about everyone. His thumb brushed her cheekbone. I care about the woman who saved me, who brought me to her home, who's standing in her kitchen at 2 a.m. looking at me like maybe she feels this too. I'm 47, she whispered. I have a daughter in college. Gray hair I dye. Stretch marks. 14 years of living you haven't experienced. And I'm a 33-year-old billionaire who trusted the wrong person and nearly died for it. Who built an empire and forgot how to be human. Who's standing in your kitchen realizing the woman who saved my life might also save me from, he stopped, from being alone, from being nothing but my bank account, from forgetting what real feels like. This is insane. Completely insane. He smiled. But Juliana, I'm alive because you lied for me, because you took a risk, because you saw someone who needed help and didn't count the cost. That's, his voice roughened. That's the most real thing anyone's done for me in years. She should step back, create distance, remind him this was temporary. He'd heal and leave, and she'd return to her invisible life. Instead she said, your wound needs checking. Come on. She led him to the bathroom, made him sit on the closed toilet, carefully peeled back the bandage with hands that trembled. The knife wound was healing, clean, no infection. But her hands on his skin, that was the infection. Spreading. Dangerous. Impossible to cure. You're good at this, Morris said quietly, watching her work. I'm a medical biller. I know anatomy. Wound care. It's not. I meant being gentle. Being careful. His hand covered hers. Being you. Juliana looked up. Found his face inches from hers. Found his eyes dark and wanting and absolutely sure. We can't, she whispered. Why not? Because you're running for your life. Because I'm too old. Because this is real, he finished. Because for the first time in forever, something feels real? Morris, he kissed her. Soft. Tentative. Asking permission with his mouth. And Juliana, 47, invisible, convinced her desirable years were behind her. Kissed him back. Then jerked away. No, you're vulnerable. We can't. She fled to her bedroom, locked the door, pressed her back against it, and touched her lips where his had been, where, impossibly, she could still feel him. End of Act 2. Fire cliffhanger, one kiss, one moment of weakness, one impossible spark that neither can deny. But Morris is still in danger, Juliana is still convinced she's too old. And proximity is about to make everything harder. Can they keep pretending this is just rescue and nothing more? Speech balloon call TO action. When did you know attraction had crossed the line from impossible to inevitable? Share your moment below. Ready for Act 3? Let me know. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses. The hospital discharged Morris 12 hours later with pain medication, wound care instructions, and stern warnings about infection. Your mother will need to change the dressing twice daily, the nurse said, handing Juliana supplies. Keep the wound clean. Watch for fever. Any signs of reopening, come back immediately. Juliana nodded, very aware of Morris's eyes on her. Very aware this charade was continuing. In the parking lot, he leaned against her 10-year-old Honda. Expensive suit ruined, face pale. I can't go home, he said quietly. They'll be watching my penthouse, my office, anywhere I'm known. You need somewhere safe to recover. Yes, he met her eyes. Your place, if that's okay. Just for a few days. I'll pay you. Compensate you for. Stop. Juliana unlocked the car. Just get in. We'll figure it out. Her apartment was modest. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, furniture that had seen better decades. She watched Morris take it in. This man who probably lived in marble and glass, now standing in her beige-carpeted living room that smelled faintly of the vanilla candles she burned to mask apartment smell. Guest rooms there, she said, pointing. Bathrooms shared. I work from home tomorrow so I can help with the wound care. You should rest. Juliana. Her name in his voice stopped her. Why did you help me? She turned. You were bleeding. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. She crossed her arms. You were hurt. I could help. That's all. You claimed me as your son. Put yourself at risk. You don't even know me. I know you were terrified. I know someone wants you dead. I know. She stopped. I know what it feels like to need help and have no one offer it. Something shifted in his expression. Softened. Who didn't help you? Everyone. The word slipped out. When my husband left. When I lost my job. When my mother got sick. Everyone had reasons why they couldn't. She turned away. I didn't want to be that person. For you. Morris was quiet. Then, I'm glad you weren't. That night, Juliana couldn't sleep. She lay in bed listening to Morris move around the guest room. Probably uncomfortable. Probably in pain. At 2 a.m., she gave up. Went to the kitchen for water. He was already there. Shirtless, the bandage stark white against his skin. He turned, and she saw him really see her. Not as rescuer or fake mother. As woman. Can't sleep either? He asked. Adrenaline, probably. She poured water with shaking hands. You should be resting. Hard to rest when someone's trying to kill you. He smiled without humor. And when you're sleeping in a stranger's guest room after she saved your life by pretending to be your mother. Is it weird? The mother thing. Extremely weird. He stepped closer. Because you don't look old enough to be my mother. And I definitely don't feel filial toward you. The air changed. Charged. Morris. I'm 14 years younger than you, he said quietly. I know. I saw your driver's license when you showed it at the hospital. 47. I'm 33. And he stopped. Started again. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. Not as my savior. Not as mother figure. As you. You're in shock. Pain medication. You don't. I know exactly what I mean. His hand came up, hesitated, then touched her cheek. You're beautiful, strong, real. And I can't pretend I don't see it just because some lie made you my mother for hospital purposes. Juliana's breath caught. You're too young for me. Says who? Society. Logic. Everyone. I don't care about everyone. His thumb brushed her cheekbone. I care about the woman who saved me, who brought me to her home, who's standing in her kitchen at 2 a.m. looking at me like maybe she feels this too. I'm 47, she whispered. I have a daughter in college. Gray hair I dye. Stretch marks. 14 years of living you haven't experienced. And I'm a 33-year-old billionaire who trusted the wrong person and nearly died for it. Who built an empire and forgot how to be human. Who's standing in your kitchen realizing the woman who saved my life might also save me from... He stopped. From being alone. From being nothing but my bank account. From forgetting what real feels like. This is insane. Completely insane. He smiled. But Juliana, I'm alive because you lied for me. Because you took a risk. Because you saw someone who needed help and didn't count the cost. His voice roughened. That's the most real thing anyone's done for me in years. She should step back, create distance, remind him this was temporary. He'd heal and leave, and she'd return to her invisible life. Instead she said, "Your wound needs checking. Come on." She led him to the bathroom, made him sit on the closed toilet, carefully peeled back the bandage with hands that trembled. The knife wound was healing, clean, no infection. But her hands on his skin, that was the infection. Spreading, dangerous, impossible to cure. "You're good at this," Morris said quietly, watching her work. "I'm a medical biller. I know anatomy, wound care. It's not. I meant being gentle, being careful." His hand covered hers. "Being you." Juliana looked up, found his face inches from hers, found his eyes dark and wanting and absolutely sure. "We can't," she whispered. "Why not?" "Because you're running for your life. Because I'm too old. Because this is real," he finished. "Because for the first time in forever, something feels real." "Morris." He kissed her, soft, tentative, asking permission with his mouth. And Juliana, 47, invisible, convinced her desirable years were behind her, kissed him back, then jerked away. "No, you're vulnerable. We can't." She fled to her bedroom, locked the door, pressed her back against it, and touched her lips where his had been, where, impossibly, she could still feel him. One kiss, one moment of weakness, one impossible spark that neither can deny. But Morris is still in danger, Juliana is still convinced she's too old, and proximity is about to make everything harder. Can they keep pretending this is just rescue and nothing more? When did you know attraction had crossed the line from impossible to inevitable? Share your moment below. Morning came with painful awkwardness. Juliana made coffee. Morris emerged from the guest room, moving stiffly, wound clearly bothering him. They didn't mention the kiss. Didn't mention anything except weather and medication schedules and whether he wanted toast. "I should check in with my lawyer," Morris said, staring at his phone. "Carefully. They're probably monitoring my accounts. Use my laptop. Different IP address. Safer." He looked at her. "You know about IP addresses? I work in medical billing. We deal with HIPAA compliance encrypted systems. I'm not technically illiterate just because I'm..." She stopped. "Because you're what?" "Nothing. Laptops in the living room." But Morris caught her arm gently. "You were going to say, because I'm older, weren't you? It's a fact, not a judgment. Juliana, you're 47, not 70. And your age isn't..." He seemed to search for words. "It's not a deficit. It's not something to apologize for," says the 33-year-old. Says the man who's watched women my age spend entire dates on their phones. Who's dated people with no conversation deeper than their Instagram aesthetic. He stepped closer. Who's realizing that maturity is attractive. That intelligence is sexy. That you. Don't. Her voice was sharp. Don't do that. Don't romanticize me because you're scared and I'm convenient. Last night was a mistake. We both know it. Do we? I'm helping you because you need help. That's all. When this is over, you'll go back to your life. Your penthouse. Your age-appropriate girlfriends. She pulled away. And I'll go back to being invisible. You're not invisible to me. I'm a maternal figure who lied to save you. Don't confuse gratitude with attraction. Morris's jaw tightened. Fine. We'll keep this professional. Rescuer and rescued. Nothing more. Good. Great. But professional lasted approximately 4 hours. Morris worked from her laptop, making encrypted calls to his lawyer. Juliana heard fragments. Asset freezing, board votes, legal injunctions. He was fighting for his company, his fortune, his life. "Can I help?" she asked during his lunch break. Sandwich she'd made, delivered with careful distance. "Unless you understand corporate law. I understand documentation, paper trails. I spend 40 hours a week tracking insurance claims through bureaucratic systems. If you need someone to organize evidence, build a case file, find inconsistencies." she shrugged. I'm available. Morris stared at her. You'd do that? I'm already harboring a fugitive billionaire. Might as well commit to the crime spree. He laughed. Actually laughed. And something in Juliana's chest loosened. They worked together through the afternoon. Her organizing his scattered evidence. Him explaining the corporate conspiracy. Their hands brushing over papers. Their voices overlapping with ideas. You're brilliant, Morris said at one point. I'm thorough. Same thing. He looked at her. Really looked. Why aren't you doing something bigger? Your intelligence is you should be running departments, not processing claims. I'm 47. Companies want young blood. Companies are stupid. She smiled despite herself. Maybe. Definitely. He leaned closer. Juliana, His phone rang. The burner one. His lawyer. Morris, they've traced you to the hospital. Security footage shows you with a woman claiming to be your mother. The lawyer's voice was urgent on speaker. They're running facial recognition. They'll find her. Find you. You need to move. Now. Ice flooded Juliana's veins. They know about me? They know someone helped you. Morris was already moving, gathering papers. Which means Whitmore's men will find you. Find this address. Juliana, I'm so sorry. I've put you in danger. How long do we have? Maybe hours. Maybe minutes. His hands cupped her face. You need to leave. Go somewhere safe. I'll figure something else out. But I won't let you. No. Her voice was steel. We leave together. Pack light. I have a friend with a cabin upstate. Off-grid. We go there. Figure out next steps when we're safe. Juliana, I saved your life once. I'm not stopping now. She was already moving, grabbing essentials. Besides, if they think I'm your mother, they might come after me anyway for information. Safer if we're together. This is insane. You already said that. Yesterday. In my kitchen. She met his eyes. And I kissed you anyway. So clearly, I'm comfortable with insane. Despite everything. The danger, the fear, the impossible situation. Morris smiled. Okay, he said. Together. They threw clothes in bags. Grabbed Morris's evidence files. Juliana left a note for her daughter. Emergency trip. Mom's fine. Call you when I can. As they climbed into her Honda, Juliana thought, I'm 47. Running from assassins with a billionaire I kissed. This is not how I expected this week to go. But Morris's hand found hers across the console. Squeezed. And despite everything, she squeezed back. Professional. Right. They were doing great at professional. They're running now together. Assassins closing in. Cabin in the woods. Forced proximity with nowhere to hide from each other or the feelings they're both denying. How long can they resist what's building between them when danger demands absolute trust? Have you ever gone on the run with someone literally or metaphorically? How did crisis change your relationship? Tell us below. The cabin was smaller than Juliana remembered. One main room with a kitchenette. A bathroom with questionable plumbing. And one bedroom with one double bed that suddenly seemed to take up all available space in the universe. I'll take the couch, Morris said immediately. With a knife wound that's still healing? Absolutely not. Juliana dropped her bag. We're adults. We can share a bed without. Without what? Without me forgetting every reason this is impossible, she thought. Without making it weird, she said. Right? Not weird at all. Sleeping with the woman I kissed yesterday, who's pretending to be my mother for safety, while assassins hunt us. Morris smiled. Peak normal. Despite everything, she laughed. When you put it that way, they settled in. Juliana made soup from canned goods her friend kept stocked. Morris tried to help and nearly burned water. How did you survive before me? She asked, rescuing a pot. Personal chefs. Takeout. The usual billionaire conveniences. He leaned against the counter watching her work. I've never actually cooked a meal. Never. My parents died when I was 12. Boarding school, then college, then startup life. By the time I had money, I had people to do everything. He said it casually, but she heard the loneliness underneath. I've never actually had a home, just addresses where I sleep. Juliana's hands stilled on the ladle. That's heartbreaking. That's wealth. He shrugged. You trade human connection for convenience. And by the time you realize what you've lost, everyone around you wants something from you. Your money, your connections, He stopped. No one just wants you. I want you. The words slipped out before she could stop them. I mean, as a person, not your money, your company. I just want. She met his eyes. I want you safe. That's all. Morris crossed to her, took the ladle gently, set it aside. Is that all? Morris. Because I want you too. And I don't mean as my rescuer, or my fake mother. I mean as. His hand cupped her face. As the woman who makes me laugh. Who's brilliant and kind and so beautiful it hurts to look at you. I'm 14 years older. I don't care. Society cares. Your friends. Your world. My world tried to kill me. His thumb brushed her cheek. You saved me. That's the only opinion that matters. She wanted to argue, wanted to list every reason this was impossible. Instead she just let him hold her. Tell me about your daughter, Morris said after dinner. Both of them on the couch, careful distance between them. So Juliana told him about Emma, 20, brilliant at college on the other side of the country. About raising her alone after the divorce. About being 43 and suddenly single and feeling like her life was ending just as Emma's was beginning. My ex said I was boring, predictable, that he needed excitement. She laughed bitterly. The paralegal was 28. Exciting, apparently, means young. Your ex is an idiot. My ex moved on quickly. Last I heard, he married her. They have a baby. She picked at the couch fabric. Meanwhile, I'm the woman he outgrew. The starter wife who aged out of relevance. Juliana. Morris turned her face toward him. You're not boring. You're not irrelevant. You're not any of the things he made you believe. How do you know? Because boring women don't save strangers. Don't harbor fugitives. Don't run from assassins. He smiled. You're the most interesting person I've met in years. And your ex. His jaw tightened. Your ex was a coward who couldn't handle being with someone who'd outgrown him. That's a nice way of spinning it. That's the truth. His hand found hers. You're not too old, Juliana. You're just right. Exactly, perfectly right. That night, they lay in the double bed, back to back, carefully not touching. This is ridiculous, Morris said after 20 minutes of tense silence. Agreed. We're both adults. We can acknowledge we're attracted to each other without acting on it because you're running for your life and I'm having a midlife crisis? He rolled over. She felt him move, felt the mattress shift. Is that what you think this is? A midlife crisis. What else could it be? She stayed facing away. Younger man. Dangerous situation. Adrenaline. This textbook fantasy, Morris. And when reality comes back, when you're safe, when this is over, you'll realize I'm just the middle-aged woman who happened to be convenient. Look at me. No. Juliana. Please. She rolled over, found his face inches from hers in the darkness. This isn't adrenaline, he said quietly. This isn't convenience. This is... He touched her face. This is me realizing I've been looking for you my entire adult life. Someone real. Someone who sees me. Someone who doesn't want anything except me. Just me. His voice cracked. And I'm terrified because I'm 14 years younger and you think that matters. And I'm being hunted and that's dangerous. And we started this as a lie and that's complicated. But Juliana. His forehead touched hers. None of that changes the fact that I'm falling for you. Fast. Hard. Completely. Morris. You don't have to say it back. You don't have to feel the same. I just needed you to know that this is real for me. That you're real for me. That age is irrelevant when... He stopped. When someone makes you feel human again. Juliana's eyes burned. I'm falling too. And it terrifies me. Why? Because you'll change your mind. when the danger passes, when you're back in your world, when you see me in daylight with younger women around and realize, I won't, fierce, certain, I won't change my mind, I won't wake up and suddenly care about age. I won't. He kissed her forehead. I won't let you talk yourself out of being loved. Loved? The word was barely a whisper. Yeah. He smiled in the darkness. Loved. I'm falling in love with you, Juliana. Probably have been since you lied to save me. Definitely am now that I know you. An age gap be damned. I'm not letting you go. She kissed him then. Deep. Real. All the resistance crumbling. We're insane, she murmured against his mouth. Completely insane, he agreed, pulling her closer. But let's be insane together. They fell asleep tangled together. Danger outside. Age gap irrelevant. Just two people who'd found each other in the most impossible way. Choosing each other anyway. They've admitted it, they're falling in love. But love doesn't stop assassins. And tomorrow brings news that changes everything. Morse's lawyer has a plan to save him, but it requires going public, which means their relationship will be exposed to the world's judgment. Can their fragile new love survive the spotlight? When did you stop caring what others thought and just chose love? Share that moment of courage. They woke tangled together, morning light filtering through cabin windows. Morris traced patterns on Juliana's shoulder, his other hand still bandaged but healing. Good morning. Morning. She smiled, feeling shy and 16 and 47 all at once. How's the wound? Better. You're an excellent nurse. I'm a medical biller who Googled knife wounds. Best nurse I've ever had. He kissed her temple. Juliana. About last night. His phone rang. The burner. His lawyer. Morris's expression shifted as he listened, going from tender to grave in seconds. Are you sure? When? How long have you known? Juliana sat up, concern flooding through her. What is it? He ended the call, stared at the phone. Then, my parents. They didn't die in an accident 21 years ago. They were murdered. By Whitmore's father. The words fell like stones. What? My dad discovered fraud in a joint venture. Whitmore Sr. couldn't let that information go public. So Morris's voice cracked. Car crash. Brake line cut. My lawyer just found evidence in the old police files. Evidence that was buried. Paid off. Morris. I was 12 years old. I became an orphan because someone wanted to protect their money. And now, his hands shook. Now Whitmore Jr. is finishing what his father started. Stealing my company. Trying to kill me. Because he laughed bitterly. Because I'm the loose end his father created. Juliana pulled him close. Let him break. Let him sob into her shoulder like the 12-year-old boy who'd lost everything. 21 years, he said against her neck. 21 years I've been alone because of them. Boarding school. College. Building a company to honor my parents' memory. And it was all. His voice shattered. It was all built on their graves. And I didn't even know someone put them there. I'm so sorry. She held him tighter. I'm so sorry. I have no one. No family. No real friends. Everyone wants something from me. And I've been. He pulled back, eyes red. I've been so lonely, Juliana. So tired of being nothing but my bank account. Of people seeing my money and not me. Of being invisible, she finished softly. Yes. He looked at her. Which is why you saved me in more ways than one. Because you saw me. Not my wealth. Not my use. Just me. I see you, she confirmed. And Morris, you're not alone anymore. She held him while he cried for parents he'd lost. For the childhood stolen. For 21 years of loneliness and suspicion and believing connection was impossible. When he finally calmed, he touched her face. Your turn. My turn. To tell me what broke you. What made you believe you're invisible. Juliana wanted to deflect. But fair was fair. My ex. When he left. You said he left for someone younger. He did. But that's not. She took a breath. When he told Emma, our daughter, why he was leaving, he said I'd let myself go. that I'd become boring and old and that he deserved better. Her voice caught, that I'd stopped being worth the effort. Morris's jaw clenched. He said that to your daughter? He wanted her to understand his side, so she wouldn't hate him. Tears burned. And Emma, she was 16, angry at both of us. She said maybe he was right, that maybe I had stopped trying, that maybe if I'd... She couldn't continue. Juliana. She apologized later, years later, said she was hurt and lashing out. But Morris... She met his eyes. I believed it, believed I'd expired, that at 43, I was past worth, past desire, past everything except existing quietly until I died. That's not true, isn't it? I stopped being seen, stopped being wanted, became... She gestured at herself. Became this, invisible, irrelevant, the woman men look through, not at. I'm looking at you. He cupped her face. I see you, every day, every moment. And Juliana, you're not invisible. You're extraordinary. Your kindness, your strength, your beauty that has nothing to do with age and everything to do with who you are. You're 14 years younger. I don't care about years. Care about you. The woman who saved a stranger, who ran with me, who held me while I broke, who's been alone too long because someone convinced her she wasn't enough. His forehead touched hers. You're more than enough. You're everything. They held each other. Two broken people sharing wounds, finding healing in honesty. We're a mess, Juliana said finally. Complete disaster. Morris smiled. But maybe disasters understand each other. Maybe they do. His phone buzzed. Text from his lawyer. Press conference tomorrow. Going public with everything, the conspiracy, the murder, all of it. You need to be there. Bring your mother. Her testimony will help prove you've been in hiding, not running guilty. Morris showed her the text. This is it. We go public. Expose Whitmore. Clear my name. Get my company back. And expose us, Juliana said quietly. The world will know I'm not your mother. They'll see the age gap. Judge us. Your reputation. I don't care about my reputation. He took her hands. I care about you. About us. And yes, people will judge. My business associates. Society. Probably your daughter. He paused. But Juliana, I'm tired of hiding. Tired of pretending. I want to stand next to you publicly and say, this woman saved my life. And I love her. Age gap and all. Morris. Unless you don't want that. Unless you'd rather. I want that. The words came out fierce. I want you. Publicly. Proudly. Even though I'm terrified of what Emma will say. What people will think. What? She stopped. What happens when you realize you could have someone younger? I don't want someone younger. He kissed her. I want you. Only you. Forever you. Forever's a long time. Not long enough, he said. Not nearly long enough. Tomorrow they go public with the conspiracy and their relationship. The world is about to judge them. Morris's enemies are about to be exposed. And Juliana's daughter is about to learn her mother is dating a man younger than her. Can their love survive the spotlight? Or will public scrutiny destroy what danger couldn't? Have you ever had to defend your relationship to skeptics? How did you find the courage? Share your story. Their last day at the cabin felt suspended in time. No assassins. No press conferences. Just them, the woods, and the quiet certainty that everything was about to change. Come here, Morris said after breakfast, pulling Juliana to the cabin's small mirror. He stood behind her, arms around her waist, both of them reflected in the glass. What are we doing? She asked. I want you to see what I see. His chin rested on her shoulder. Look at yourself. Really look. Morris. Humor me. His hands traced her arms. Tell me what you see. Juliana forced herself to look. I see a 47-year-old woman. Gray hair growing in at the roots. Crow's feet. Smile lines that used to be called wrinkles. A body that's carried a child and 47 years of living. I see. Her voice caught. I see someone past her prime. Wrong. Morris's voice was firm. You want to know what I see? I see a woman who's lived, who has stories in every line, wisdom in every gray hair. I see strength in these shoulders that carried a daughter alone, grace in these hands that saved my life, beauty that has nothing to do with being 25 and everything to do with being fully, completely yourself. That's very poetic. That's very true. He turned her to face him. Juliana, I've dated 25-year-olds. They were boring, vapid, obsessed with appearances. You're fascinating, deep, real, and so beautiful it makes my chest hurt. You're biased. I'm honest. He kissed her softly. And I'm tired of you not seeing it. So today, before we face the world, I'm going to make sure you know exactly how extraordinary you are. He spent the day proving it. Made her lunch, badly, burned again, making them both laugh. Told her about his company, asked her opinions, actually listened when she suggested improvements. Held her hand while they walked through the woods, pointing out birds like they had all the time in the world. What happens after tomorrow? Juliana asked as they sat on the cabin steps, watching sunset paint the sky. We win. We expose Whitmore. I get my company back. He squeezed her hand. And then I want to take you to dinner. A real date. Not hiding. Not pretending. Just us. Me in a suit. You in something that makes me forget how to speak. Everyone knowing you're with me. People will stare. Let them. He pulled her closer. I want them to see you. See us. See that I'm the luckiest man alive because somehow, impossibly, you chose me back. I'm nervous about Emma, Juliana admitted. About telling her. She's going to think that her mother deserves happiness? Morris suggested. That you found someone who worships you? That age is irrelevant when connection is real. That her mother is having a midlife crisis with a man 14 years younger. Then we'll prove her wrong. He turned Juliana's face toward him. Together, we'll show her this is real. That he stopped. That we're forever. 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 He said it like a vow. Juliana, I know it's fast. I know we've only known each other a week. But I've never been more certain of anything in my life. I love you. I want you. I want to build a life with you. Meet your daughter. Introduce you to my world. Wake up next to you for the next 50 years. His thumb brushed her cheek. I want forever. If you'll have me. Tears blurred her vision. I'm terrified. Me too. What if we're wrong? What if this is just... It's not. Certain. Absolute. This is real, Juliana. The most real thing I've ever felt. She kissed him. Deep. Desperate. All her fear and hope tangled together. I love you, she whispered against his mouth. I love you and it terrifies me and I want forever too. They made love that night slowly, tenderly, like they had all the time in the world even though morning would bring reality crashing back. Morris traced every line on her face like memorizing scripture. Kissed every scar, every mark, every proof she'd lived. Made her feel like art instead of evidence of aging. You're beautiful, he murmured against her skin. So beautiful. And for the first time in years, Juliana believed it. After, tangled together in sheets, Morris said, Tell me about Emma. Really tell me. What's she like? So Juliana told him. About her brilliant, fierce daughter. About raising her alone. About their complicated relationship. The hurt and healing. The love that survived even when they didn't understand each other. She'll hate me at first, Juliana said. Think I'm being ridiculous. That you're using me or I'm using you or... We'll win her over. Morris kissed her shoulder. We'll show her this is real. That her mother found something extraordinary. That age gaps don't matter when, he smiled. When someone makes you feel home. Is that what I am? Home. You're the first home I've had in 21 years. His voice roughed. The first place I felt safe. Seen. Real. So yes, you're home. And he pulled her closer. I'm never letting go. That night, Juliana fell asleep thinking. Tomorrow we face the world. Tomorrow people judge us. Tomorrow everything changes. But tonight we're just us. And that's enough. In the darkness, Morris held her and thought, I'll protect her. From Whitmore. From judgment. From anyone who tries to make her doubt. She saved me. Now I'll save her. From invisibility. From believing she's past worth. From ever feeling alone again. They slept peacefully. Two people who'd found each other against impossible odds. Not knowing that tomorrow would bring more than press conferences and exposure. Tomorrow would bring news that would test everything they'd built. News that would either destroy them or prove they were meant to be forever. One perfect night before the storm. Tomorrow brings the press conference, public exposure, and a secret neither of them knows yet. One that will change everything. Can their love survive what's coming? Or will the world's judgment and an impossible complication tear them apart? What's the most romantic gesture someone's made that showed you they truly saw you? Share your moment below. The press conference started perfectly. Morris stood at the podium, Juliana beside him, and methodically destroyed Whitmore's empire. Evidence of fraud, murder, conspiracy spanning 21 years. Reporters scribbled frantically. Cameras flashed. His lawyer had orchestrated it beautifully. My parents were murdered, Morris said, voice steady despite the emotion underneath. I was 12, and the man responsible tried to finish the job by stealing my company and my life. But he failed, because someone saved me. He turned to Juliana. This woman, who risked herself for a stranger, who helped me expose the truth. He took her hand. Who gave me back my life? The reporters erupted with questions. Most about Whitmore, the evidence, the legal proceedings. Then one voice cut through. Mr. Kane, initial reports said this woman claimed to be your mother. Can you clarify your relationship? Juliana felt ice flood her veins. Morris's hand tightened on hers. She posed as my mother for hospital access when I was injured. To save my life. Our actual relationship is... She's 47, you're 33. That's a 14-year age gap. Some might say a maternal dynamic evolved into something inappropriate. There's nothing inappropriate, Morris started, voice hard, but the damage was done. Other reporters pounced. Did the maternal role create this relationship? Are you concerned about power dynamics? Ms. Chun, did you take advantage of a vulnerable man? Juliana felt the room spin. Every insecurity, every fear, every voice that said you're too old. This is wrong, you're embarrassing yourself. All of it crashed over her. This press conference is over, Morris said coldly. We're done here. He pulled her out through the back, his lawyer running interference. In the car, Juliana couldn't breathe. They think I'm some predator who... They're wrong. Morris's voice was steel. They're sensationalist vultures looking for scandal. Don't let them. Her phone rang. Emma. Mom. Her daughter's voice was shaking. Mom, what the hell? I'm seeing headlines. Billionaire's mother figure becomes lover. Mom, is this real? Are you dating him? Someone 14 years younger? Someone you met a week ago? Emma, I can explain. Explain what? That you're having a midlife crisis? That some rich guy charmed you and now you're all over the news looking like... Emma's voice cracked. Looking like exactly what Dad said you were. Desperate. Past your prime. Trying to reclaim youth by... Emma, stop. Juliana's voice broke. Stop. Please. I'm humiliated, Mom. My friends are sending me articles. Asking if my mom is really dating some guy closer to my age than hers. And I don't know what to say because apparently my mother is... Is what? Juliana's tears fell. Say it. Is what? Silence. Then, I don't even know you anymore. The line went dead. Juliana sat in the car, phone clutched in shaking hands, and felt everything inside her shatter. I'm sorry, Morris said, reaching for her. She's upset. She'll calm down. We'll explain. There's nothing to explain. Juliana's voice was hollow. She's right. Everyone's right. I'm 47. You're 33. I claimed to be your mother and became your lover. She couldn't breathe. It's exactly as inappropriate as they're saying. That's not true, isn't it? She looked at him. Morris, I've destroyed your reputation, made you a punchline. Billionaire dates mother figure. That's what you'll be known for now. Not your company, not your vindication. Just this, me, the older woman who... Stop. His voice was sharp. Stop letting them define us. They're not wrong. The words burst out. I'm too old for you. I always have been. And now the whole world sees it. Emma sees it. And I... Her voice cracked completely. I can't do this. Can't be the embarrassment. The scandal. The proof that you're... That I'm what? That you're going through something. A phase. She forced the words out. A mistake. Morris recoiled like she'd slapped him. You think you're a mistake? I think this whole thing was insanity. Week-long relationship. Age gap. Running from assassins. We got caught up in danger and proximity and... Tears streamed down her face. And now reality's back and it's showing us what everyone else sees. That this doesn't work. Can't work. That I'm... What? That I'm not enough. The admission tore from her. Not young enough. Not appropriate enough. Not worthy of being loved by someone like you. And Emma knows it. The media knows it. Everyone knows it except... She looked at him. Except you. Who's too kind to see the truth. The truth. Morris's laugh was hollow. The truth is I love you. That's the only truth that matters. Love isn't enough when the whole world is against us. Since when do you care what the world thinks? Since my daughter called me desperate. Since headlines are calling our relationship inappropriate. Since I realized... Her voice broke. Since I realized you'll wake up eventually and see what everyone else sees. That I'm the older woman who trapped a younger man in a crisis. That I'm exactly what my ex said. Past my worth. And you deserve better. Don't. Morris's voice was dangerous. Don't do this. Don't let them win. Don't let your ex's poison destroy. I'm trying to save you. She was shouting now. From scandal. From judgment. From being stuck with someone who makes you look like you're going through a phase. I'm not going through a phase. He grabbed her shoulders. I love you. I chose you. And if you can't see that, if you're going to let other people's judgment destroy us, then maybe... He stopped. Released her. Stepped back. Maybe you're right. Maybe this was a mistake. Not because of age. Because you don't trust it. Don't trust me. Don't trust that you're worth loving. The words landed like bullets. That's not fair. It's completely fair. His eyes were devastated. I've spent a week proving I love you. Choosing you. Defending you. And you're walking away at the first sign of outside pressure. Just like... He stopped. Laughed bitterly. Just like everyone else. Everyone leaves, Juliana. My parents died. Everyone I trusted betrayed me. And now you're leaving too because some reporter asked a cruel question and your daughter got upset. Morris! Get out. What? Get out of my car. Out of my life. If you think you're a mistake, if you think this is inappropriate, if you can't handle the judgment. His voice cracked. Then go. I won't force you to stay. Won't make you be with someone you're ashamed of being with. I'm not ashamed of you. You're ashamed of us. Which means you're ashamed of me choosing you. Which means, he turned away. Which means I was right. Everyone leaves eventually. You just took longer than most. Juliana sat frozen. Then opened the car door. Stepped out into the cold. Morris! I'll have my lawyer send your payment for helping me. As agreed. Compensation for services rendered. His voice was ice. Thank you for saving my life, Miss Chun. We're done here. He drove away, leaving her standing on the sidewalk, and Juliana realized what she'd done. She'd destroyed the best thing that had ever happened to her. Because she'd believed the world's judgment over his love. Because she'd chosen fear over faith. Because she'd proven she was exactly what she feared. Not brave enough for extraordinary love. She sank onto a bench and sobbed. Across the city, Morris sat in his penthouse. The empty one he'd sworn he'd never return to alone. And broke. She'd left. They all left. And he was alone again. just like he'd always been, just like he'd always be. They've destroyed each other. Juliana chose fear and judgment over love. Morris pushed her away because he couldn't watch her leave slowly. Both are shattered, alone, convinced it's over. But sometimes the greatest love requires the greatest courage. Can they find it? Or is this truly the end? Have you ever let fear destroy something beautiful? How did you find the courage to fight for it? Or did you? Share your story. 3 days without Morris felt like 3 years. Juliana sat in her apartment, watching news coverage of the Whitmore scandal, seeing Morris's face in every shot. He looked devastated, hollow, alone. Because of her, she'd gotten flowers with no card, a wire transfer for $2 million payment as promised, and one text from his lawyer, "He's miserable." In case you were wondering, she was wondering, constantly. "Mom!" Emma's voice on her phone, calling for the 3rd time that day. "Mom, please answer. I'm sorry. I was awful. I need to talk to you." Juliana finally answered. "Emma." Oh, thank God. Her daughter's relief was palpable. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I was shocked and said terrible things and She took a shaking breath. "I saw more coverage. Saw how he looks at you. And Mom, that's real. That's not a phase or a crisis or whatever I accused you of. He loves you. And you pushed him away because I was a judgmental brat and—" "Emma, let me finish. Please." Emma's voice cracked. "After Dad left, you became invisible. Stopped trying. Stopped believing you deserved good things. And I watched you shrink and I hated it, but I didn't know how to help. And then you met Morris and suddenly you were alive again. Happy. And I was jealous. Jealous. That he could make you happy when I couldn't. That he saw something in you that—" Emma sobbed. "That I'd stopped seeing because I was too busy being angry at you and Dad and everything. But Mom, you deserve this. You deserve someone who looks at you like you hung the moon. Age gap or not. Public scrutiny or not. You deserve to be loved." Juliana's tears fell. "I pushed him away. Then fight for him back. Fierce. Fight, Mom. For once in your life, stop accepting what people say you deserve and take what you actually deserve. Which is him. Loving you. Publicly. Proudly." After Emma hung up, Juliana sat with her daughter's words. Stop accepting what people say you deserve. She'd spent 5 years accepting invisibility. Accepting that 47 meant expired. Accepting that she should be grateful for scraps. And then Morris had looked at her like she was everything. And she'd believed the world over him. Chosen fear over faith. Chosen invisibility over being seen. Juliana stood. Made a decision. She was done being invisible. Morris sat in his office, staring at security reports. "Whitmore's remaining associates are making threats," his head of security said. "Mostly bluster. But there's chatter about your connection to Juliana Chun. They see her as leverage. A way to get to you." Ice flooded Morris's veins. "Is she in danger?" "Potentially. We've increased surveillance on her apartment. But Mr. Kane, she's vulnerable. Alone. If you want her protected, protect her." The words came out harsh. "I don't care what it costs. I don't care that we're not together. Protect her." "Sir." "She rejected your payment. Sent it back with a note." His security chief handed him an envelope. Morris opened it with shaking hands. "I don't want your money. I never did. I wanted you, and I was too scared to fight for that. I'm sorry." He stared at her handwriting, at the confession, at the proof that she'd felt it too, the fear, the worthiness issues, the terror of being seen and choosing to hide instead. "Where is she now?" Morris asked. "Her apartment. Hasn't left in 3 days except—" The security chief checked his tablet. "Except she just called an Uber. Heading to—" He looked up, surprised. "Heading to your office, sir." Morris was already moving. They met in the lobby. Juliana stepping out of the elevator. Morris rushing from his private entrance. Both stopping when they saw each other. "I'm sorry," they said simultaneously. Then Morris crossed to her, pulled her into his arms, held her like she was oxygen. "I'm sorry," he said into her hair. I pushed you away when you were scared. Made it about me when you were... I'm sorry, she interrupted. I chose fear over you. Believed the world's judgment over your love. Her voice broke. I was too scared to be brave. He pulled back, cupped her face. And now I'm choosing brave. She met his eyes. I'm choosing you. Publicly. Proudly. Age gap and judgment and whatever comes. Because Morris, you were right. I don't trust that I'm worth loving. And that's my wound to heal. But I want to heal it with you. Want to learn to believe I'm enough because you see me as enough. You're more than enough. He kissed her forehead. You're everything. Emma called. Apologized. Said I deserve this. You do. So do you. She touched his face. You deserve someone who fights for you. Who doesn't run when things get hard. And I want to be that person. She took a breath. Want to hold a press conference of my own. Tell the world that I love you. That age is irrelevant. That anyone who judges us can. He kissed her. Deep, desperate, real. I love you, he said against her mouth. I love you and I don't care who knows. I don't care about judgment or headlines or... There's something else. His security chief approached, apologetic. Ms. Chun, we've detected threats against you from Whitmore's associates. You're in potential danger because of your connection to Mr. Kane. Juliana looked at Morris. So we're both targets now. Appears so. Good. She squared her shoulders. Then we face it together. Press conference. Tomorrow. We tell our story. We expose the threats. She took his hand. We show the world that love doesn't bow to danger or judgment or age gaps. We show them we're unbreakable. Morris smiled. Together, she agreed. But neither knew that tomorrow would bring more than press conferences. Tomorrow would bring news that would change everything. News that made headlines pale in comparison. News that would prove they were either meant to be forever or never meant to be at all. They've chosen each other again. Publicly, courageously, completely. Tomorrow they face the world together. But the news coming will test them in ways they never imagined. Can their love survive what's about to be revealed? Or will this final complication destroy what danger and judgment couldn't? What made you fight for love when fear said run? Share the moment you chose courage. The press conference room was packed. Juliana stood beside Morris at the podium, hand in his, facing cameras and judgment and the world's curiosity. My name is Juliana Chun, she said, voice steady. I'm 47 years old, and I'm in love with Morris Kane, who's 33. We have a 14-year age gap. And I don't care. The room erupted with questions. She kept talking. A week ago, I saved a stranger's life by lying and saying he was my son. That lie kept him safe. But what happened after that wasn't a lie. We fell in love. Really, genuinely, completely. And yes, I'm older. Yes, society judges us. Yes, headlines call our relationship inappropriate. She looked at Morris. But I've spent 5 years being invisible. Being told I'm past my worth. Being convinced I should accept less than I deserve. And Morris, her voice strengthened. Morris taught me that age is just a number. That love doesn't check birth certificates. That I'm allowed to be seen, desired, loved. Morris took the microphone. I'm 33. I've dated women my age and younger. And I was lonely. Until Juliana, who saved me in every way possible. Who taught me what real connection feels like. His hand tightened on hers. Who I intend to spend the rest of my life loving. Age gap be damned. Mr. Kane, aren't you concerned about? About what? Morris interrupted. About people's opinions? About society's arbitrary rules about who should love whom? No. I'm concerned about protecting the woman I love from threats. About building a life together. Juliana swayed slightly. The room tilted. Juliana, Morris caught her. Are you okay? I think I need to sit down. He guided her to a chair, the press conference dissolving into concerned murmurs. Get her water. Someone call a doctor. I'm fine, Juliana insisted. Just dizzy. I haven't been sleeping well and... She stopped, looked at him. Morris, when was my last? Understanding dawned in his eyes. Then hope. Then something like awe. When? He asked quietly. I don't know. I've been so stressed I didn't. Her hand went to her stomach. Oh God. 3 hours later, in a private doctor's office, they got confirmation. You're pregnant, the doctor said, looking between them with surprise. About 6 weeks, which at your age, Miss Chun, is, well, it's rare, but not impossible. The pregnancy appears healthy so far, though we'll need to monitor closely given your age. Juliana couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. 47 and pregnant. It was impossible, dangerous, complicated. She looked at Morris expecting doubt, fear, regret, found only joy. We're having a baby? He asked, voice breaking. We're having a baby, she confirmed. He pulled her into his arms and sobbed. I lost my family at 12. I've been alone for 21 years. And now, he couldn't finish. Now you have a family again, Juliana whispered. We do. They cried together, holding each other. This impossible gift binding them forever. They married 2 weeks later. Small ceremony. Courthouse. Emma there, crying, hugging her mother and whispering, I'm so happy for you. Morris's lawyer serving as witness. No press. No fanfare. Just vows that meant everything. I, Morris, take you, Juliana. 14 years my senior. Carrying my child. The woman who saved my life and gave me a future I'd stopped believing in. I promise to love you, honor you, remind you every day that you're extraordinary. Age gaps don't matter. Society's judgment doesn't matter. Only this matters. Us, our family, our love. I, Juliana, take you, Morris. 14 years my junior. The man who taught me I'm not invisible. Who made me believe 47 is not expired. It's just beginning. I promise to be brave. To fight for us. To trust that I'm worthy of being loved this much. And to build a family with you that proves love transcends everything. Age, danger, judgment. Everything. They kissed as husband and wife, both crying, both laughing, both impossibly grateful. The magazine interview took place in their home. So, the reporter said, 1 year ago your relationship was scandal. Now you're married with a baby. How does it feel? Juliana, 48 now, holding 1-year-old Hope, smiled. It feels like we stopped caring what anyone else thought and started living for us. Do you still face judgment? About the age gap? Sometimes, Morris said. 44 now, but still looking at Juliana like she hung the moon. But we learned that people's opinions don't define us. Our love does. Our family does. What would you say to others in similar situations? Age gap relationships. Juliana looked at her husband, her daughter, the life they'd built. I'd say age is just a number. Love is what matters. And if someone sees you, really sees you, values you, chooses you, don't let society's arbitrary rules stop you from choosing them back. I almost did. Almost let fear win. And I would have missed. She looked around. All of this. The best years of my life didn't end at 40. They started. Morris kissed her temple. She saved my life by pretending to be my mother, became my wife, my partner, my everything, and proved that sometimes the greatest love stories start with the most impossible lies. The reporter smiled. And the baby? That was unexpected. Miracle is a better word, Juliana said. At 47 pregnant. The odds were against us from the start. The age gap, the danger, the judgment. But, she looked at Hope, sleeping peacefully. But love doesn't care about odds. It just finds a way. Later, after the interview ended, they sat together. Morris, Juliana, Hope, and Emma who'd stopped by with groceries. Happy? Morris asked. Impossibly happy, Juliana said. You? Beyond happy. He kissed her. Thank you for lying for me. Thank you for making me visible again. They smiled at each other. This impossible couple with their impossible love and their impossible baby. Proof that second chances exist. that age is irrelevant when connection is real, that sometimes saving a stranger's life means saving your own, and that love, brave, impossible, beautiful love, always finds a way. Thank you for experiencing Juliana and Morris's journey with us at Philia Heart. Their story reminds us that it's never too late for love, that age gaps don't define compatibility, that sometimes one brave moment changes everything. Have you ever made a split-second decision that changed your life? Are you in an age gap relationship facing judgment? Have you ever felt invisible and then been seen again? Share your story below. Your courage might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe to Philia Heart for more stories about love that defies expectations, courage that changes everything, and the belief that we're all worthy of extraordinary love at any age. Remember, you are never too old for love. You are never past your prime. Your best years might just be beginning. Thank you so much for watching my story all the way to the end. Your support means everything. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.